In 1966, a film hit the big screen that, despite its prehistoric setting, made cinematic history in an entirely different way. 1 Million Years B.C. was an adventure fantasy film produced by Hammer Film Productions and directed by Don Chaffee. It was a remake of the 1940 movie 1 Million B.C., and while its dinosaurs and cavemen coexisting were far from historically accurate, accuracy wasn't exactly the goal. The real reason this film became legendary? A certain fur bikini worn by Raquel Welch. The story is simple, yet engaging. Two tribes, one brutish and primitive, the other more sophisticated, collide in a prehistoric world teeming with dinosaurs, all animated by the legendary stop-motion artist Ray Harryhausen. John Richardson played Tumac, the exiled caveman who stumbles upon Welch's character Loana, a member of the fair-haired and more advanced Shell tribe. From there, the film is essentially a series of battles between men, between women, and of course, between man and dinosaur. The Shell tribe represents civilization and cooperation, while the Rock tribe embodies a more savage and lawless existence. Tumac, caught between these two worlds, struggles to find his place, and Loana becomes not only his love interest, but also a symbol of a more evolved society. The film's narrative, though light on dialogue, still manages to convey themes of survival, tribalism, and adaptation. But let's be honest, no one really remembers this movie for its plot. The true iconography of 1 Million Years B.C. is Raquel Welch in that fur bikini. That single image became one of the most famous pinup posters of all time, immortalized further when it was featured in The Shawshank Redemption, 1994, as the poster concealing Andy Dufresne's escape tunnel. The irony? Welch herself didn't exactly love the outfit. Costume designer Carl Toms fashioned Welch's now iconic ensemble by draping her in soft doe skin and cutting away at it while she stood still. 3 versions of the bikini were made, customized for different scenes, including a fight sequence and a wet scene. Despite the careful craftsmanship, Welch found the bikini to be incredibly uncomfortable, especially during filming in the Canary Islands, where the cast was constantly in and out of water. The wet fur clung to her body and became unbearably heavy, making it a miserable experience for Welch and her fellow actresses. Martine Beswick, who played Nupandi, also complained about how difficult it was to move around in the costume, especially after being drenched. If Welch had her way, she might have never even worn it. She once described the film as that silly dinosaur movie and only agreed to do it because she was under contract with 20th Century Fox, which loaned her out to Hammer Films for the project. The deciding factor? The chance to spend time in London while filming the studio scenes. Welch's reluctance didn't stop the film from catapulting her to superstardom, however, and whether she liked it or not, the fur bikini became her signature look. Interestingly, Welch wasn't even the first choice for the role of Lorna. The part was originally offered to Ursula Andress, best known for emerging from the sea in Dr. No wearing an equally famous bikini. Andress turned down the role due to salary disputes, opening the door for Welch to step in and, ultimately, steal the show. Aside from the bikini's cultural impact, 1 Million Years B.C. remains a fascinating relic of filmmaking. Ray Harryhausen's stop-motion creatures were both groundbreaking and occasionally humorous, especially when compared to his more polished work. Some of the dinosaurs, such as the giant sea turtle Archelon and the Ceratosaurus, were animated beautifully, while others, like the enlarged iguana, seemed like a bizarre creative choice. Harryhausen later admitted that using a real iguana rather than animating it was a decision he regretted. The film's production was also filled with quirks. The volcano they filmed on wasn't real, but rather a model created using wallpaper paste, oatmeal, dry ice, and red dye. The plants seen in the background were actually out of place. Giant bug-loss flowers, which normally only grow above 5,000 feet, were scattered along the beaches to add exotic flair. Even the prehistoric setting itself was riddled with anachronisms, as dinosaurs and humans never actually coexisted. Shooting in the Canary Islands presented its own set of challenges. Despite the film's sun-drenched aesthetic, it was actually shot during the middle of winter, making the water scenes even more unbearable for the cast. Welch, who was already struggling with her uncomfortable costume, also had to deal with the freezing temperatures. At one point, she developed a severe case of tonsillitis and had to be flown back to London for medical treatment. Upon returning, she continued filming despite feeling unwell, a testament to her professionalism and determination. Behind the scenes, there was no shortage of drama, though not of the scandalous variety. Welch and co-star Martine Beswick, who played Napandi, actually got along quite well, despite their characters' on-screen rivalry. In fact, the two women insisted on doing their own fight scene without stunt doubles, adding a layer of authenticity to their on-screen clash. Welch's dedication to the role, despite her personal disdain for the movie, was evident in the way she fully committed to these physically demanding scenes. Meanwhile, John Richardson, who played Tumak, may have been romantically linked to Welch on screen but off camera. It was Beswick who captured his heart. The two actors fell for each other instantly and remained together for 7 years. Their chemistry off-screen added an interesting dynamic to their performances, though Richardson often found himself overshadowed by Welch's undeniable screen presence. Despite its cheesy dialogue, or rather lack of dialogue, 1 Million Years B.C. was a massive success. It became Hammer Film's biggest hit and was promoted as their 100th production. The film went on to influence a string of similar prehistoric fantasy films, though none would quite reach the same level of pop culture immortality. The film's influence extended beyond cinema, as the fur bikini itself became a reference point for pop culture, appearing in everything from cartoons to music videos. Even Destiny's Child Survivor music video featured a nod to Welch's iconic look. Raquel Welch herself, despite initially disliking the film, later acknowledged its impact on her career. She may not have loved the fur bikini, but she understood that it played a crucial role in shaping her public image. In interviews, she reflected on how the film made her a global sex symbol, cementing her status in Hollywood and leading to more prominent roles in future films. Now it's time to hear from you. Have you ever seen 1 Million Years B.C.? What's your take on its legacy? Campy classic or just a prehistoric excuse for eye candy? Let us know in the comments below.